Underwater eruption caused metre-high walls of water to crash into Tonga and Fiji. In a moment, we'll cross to Fiji for the very latest. But first, here's the BBC's Russell Trott on how the volcano sent shockwaves around the world.
The tsunami left a trail of destruction across Tonga's archipelago. Many parts are completely covered in ash. With communications down, neighbouring countries are frantically trying to make contact.
We need to finally balance the need to get there quickly, but to make sure we also get the people and resources they need there as well. And in some cases, we have parts of Tonga we've just not even been able to establish communication.
The underwater volcanic eruption that triggered the tsunami, as seen from space, lasted less than 10 minutes, but caused waves of more than a metre high to crash into Tonga and Fiji. Plumes of gas and smoke are still pouring from the volcano, reaching 20 kilometres into the sky. Alerts are in place from the west coast of the United States to Japan, where people were warned to stay away from the coast if possible.
Usually when we get tsunamis on the west coast, it's due to earthquakes. So this is an exceptionally rare event where a volcano that was mostly underwater exploded and caused the tsunami across the Pacific.
The South Pacific eruption sent a shockwave around the world, with air pressure changes recorded as far afield as Canada and even Scotland. The concerns now are for the Tongans who may not have scrambled to safety in time, and the fear that further eruptions can't be ruled out. Russell Trott, BBC News.
We can go live now to Fiji and speak to the Red Cross and the head of the delegation there, Katie Greenwood. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. What's the impact been?
Thanks so much. Yes, well, there's a lot that we do know, but unfortunately there's still a lot that we don't know. International Red Cross has urgently been trying to re-establish communication with our Red Cross teams on the ground for about 24 hours now. We did have some initial contact with our team just after the major eruption, and when the tsunami alert had been raised, and our teams were supporting local authorities to move people to the very limited higher ground around Nuku'alofa on the main island in Tonga. So we do know that. We do know also that there has been some significant damage in the northern shore of the main island in Tonga. We are very keen to hear from the low-lying and outer atolls within Tonga itself, closer to the eruption site, and we have not been able to establish that contact. It's very difficult with the ash clouds causing problems with satellite phones. The undersea cable has been damaged, and also frequent power outages are making communication very difficult. We do know, though, that despite that, there is action happening on the ground.
The lower lying atolls that you mentioned, how many people live there, and how much warning would they have had? Were they completely submerged?
We don't know quite the extent of the damage. There are some reports of completely submerged atolls, but we really can't say that that's actually accurate and confirmed information at this point in time. It's part of why we're very keen to hear from those communities. We're also very keen for the New Zealand Defence Force flight and the Australian flight that has been offered of assistance to the Tongan government to be able to take off, hopefully tomorrow morning, to do some surveillance and reconnaissance so that we can get more information about that. We suspect there could be up to 80,000 people throughout Tonga affected by either the eruption itself or from the tsunami waves and inundation as a result of the eruption. People definitely were taken by surprise, even though there have been smaller eruptions happening over the last 6 weeks or couple of months. Really, this was unexpected, and especially the short period of time between the massive blasts and also the first tsunami waves that began to inundate the islands, that was a shock to people. So we really are we do hold some concerns for those outer islands, and very keen to hear from